Welcome to the final edition of your weekly dose of primetime news. It brings me great joy to be in your company. I'm Diana Kauta. Tonight's top story: in a groundbreaking development, the Namibian government and Hyphen Hydrogen Energy have officially signed a significant feasibility and implementation agreement. The agreement marks a major milestone for Namibia as it paves the way for the realization of the country's first green hydrogen project. The signing ceremony occurred earlier today at State House and was presided over by President Dr. Hage Geingob.
But the role of Hyphen is one of just a stepping stone. We feel the weight of expectation of the country. We feel the weight placed upon us to make sure that we, working hand in hand with government, deliver upon the ambitions that have been so clearly set out by President Geingob in the Harambee Prosperity Plan 2. It truly has the opportunity to transform Namibia's economy, and that is what excites us the most. We want to play our role as being that foundation project, that stepping stone of which Namibia will launch itself to become a global player in this emerging industry.
We should hold hands to work together. Because it's not for us, it's for the people. I am having a mandate that I'm finishing. And when we are not creating jobs, government is accused. We are not taking steps to create jobs. So allow us, I have a mandate to do that. So allow us to do that. We are consulting, we are educating people what we are doing, but we are deciding to do that because that's a mandate we have, that we got from electorate.
As we celebrated Africa Day this past Thursday, the founding father, Dr. Sam Nujoma, delivered a powerful message emphasizing the wealth of natural resources that bless the African continent. In his address, he emphasized the importance of investing these resources in Africa's infrastructure. Now, let us hear the impactful remarks from the founding father.
As we are all aware, the African continent is endowed with the abundant natural resources. Therefore, investing in the infrastructure is the key to Africa's growing. In this regard, the Grand Inga hydroelectric plan in the People's Republic of Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC, should be developed beyond mere rhetoric in order to provide African Union members with a cheaper and adequate electricity supply. As Africans, we have a responsibility to promote peace and security on the continent, because when peace is restored, Africa as a whole stands to benefit. When we must therefore consolidate, guard and defend our hard-won freedom, democracy, peace, security and political stability.
During the ongoing Pan-African Parliament in Midrand, South Africa, the Pan-African President, Chief Fortune Charumbira, made a significant announcement. Charumbira revealed that the Pan-African Parliament, in collaboration with the African Union International Center for Girls and Women's Education in Africa, is actively working on developing a model law focused on gender equality. Take a listen.
Can we reflect again about education in view of COVID, because of the constraints around the economic capacities to fund education? We may go backwards and start saying only male children can go to school. So let's go back and say, no, that is not good. And that in our own homesteads, we bring back the girl child to only working within the house, which is bad. As legislators, we should remind ourselves that it is our duty to oversight, by oversighting that the Dakar Declaration, what have member states done? Have they moved forward? To what extent have they moved forward? And then we should pass the laws that we should pass and make sure that in the budgets, in our national budgets, when we pass the national budgets, we should make sure that we push budgets, pass budgets that cater also for the girl and women education. In that so doing, we'll be promoting the campaign, the Africa Education Campaign. As Pan-African Parliament, we are currently developing a model law on gender equality, which covers this, also includes Africa Education Campaign as part of that model law.
We now bring you a developing story. Fulgence Kayishema, one of the final fugitives sought in connection with the 1994 Rwanda genocide, made a long-awaited appearance before a court in Cape Town. This comes just 2 days after his arrest, following an astonishing 22 years on the run. AFP has more on this report.
He allegedly took part in one of the genocide's bloodiest episodes when thousands of men, women and children who had sought shelter in a church were slaughtered. Wearing a blue jacket, black trousers and spectacles, and flanked by armed forces with helmets and bulletproof vests, Kayishema identified himself before the packed courtroom. The 62-year-old appeared calm and composed as a state prosecutor read out the accusations against him. Prosecutor Nathan Adrianse told the court they include genocide and conspiracy to commit genocide relating to the slaughter of more than 2,000 people in Rwanda in 1994. At the end of a short hearing, Magistrate Ronel Olivier remanded him into custody with the next appearance scheduled for June 2nd. Investigators say the former Rwandan police inspector was arrested on Wednesday at a grape farm in the small winelands town of Paarl, 60 kilometers north of Cape Town, where he had been living under an alias.
Stay tuned for the business segment. Welcome to Primetime Biz, your source for the latest business news. Obed Kanjode, the Director General of the National Planning Commission, underscored the significance of the ambitious green hydrogen project. According to Kanjode, Namibia's vision to establish itself as the leading clean energy hub in Africa is gaining momentum. Take a listen.
The government also has an opportunity to be a co-investor in the project with the right to take up a 24% equity interest at cost. This project will create up to 3,000 permanent jobs during its operation, with a target for 90% of these jobs to be filled by Namibians and 20% by the youth. Notably, The project will source up to 30% of its procurement of goods, services, materials during the construction and operational phases from local SMEs and business. This is equivalent to 60 billion Namibia dollars in business for our local SMEs. Truly, this is what prosperity for all looks like.
On the occasion of Africa Day celebrations, Ukraine's Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba made a compelling appeal to African nations. In his address, he urged them to stand in solidarity with Ukraine and support its unity. Moreover, Kuleba highlighted Ukraine's commitment to preventing famine by ensuring the delivery of Ukrainian grain to Africa. AFP brings us this report.
15 months into the devastating conflict, Kuleba was in Ethiopia on a regional tour to drum up African support for Ukraine in the face of Russia's aggression, urging African nations to end neutrality over war.
Today, on this day of unity, I would like to ask you to support the unity of Ukraine by supporting peace formula proposed by President Zelensky. This is the only way to restore peace in Ukraine and to prevent future wars. Russia attacked Ukraine. Nevertheless, we continue to do everything that we can to ensure that we develop cooperation and trade with other countries, that Ukrainian grain reaches Africa so that food crisis or famine are avoided.
This brings us to the end of our top news segment for tonight. Let's take a look at how the weather is shaping up through the length and breadth of the country. Welcome to Sport Planet, the segment that unpacks all things sport for you. We begin with fantastic news from the World Para-Athletics 2023 Noordveld Grand Prix in Noordveld, Switzerland. Namibian athletes with disabilities won 3 medals on the opening day. The first athlete to win a medal for Team Namibia was T11 male sprinter Emmanuel Alfredo Bernardo, who won silver after finishing first in his heat, but was second overall with a time of 24.92 seconds. T11 female sprinter Lachia Ishitile scooped another medal in the 200-meter sprint with a time of 27.06 seconds. Namibia's third medal on the day came from T37 sprinter Petrus Karuli, who won a silver in the 200-meter after winning his heat with a time of 26.27 seconds, but his overall time saw him end in second place. Namibia's third medal on the day came from T37 sprinter Petrus Karuli, who won a silver in the 200-meter after winning his heat with a time of 26.27 seconds, but his overall time saw him end in second place. Meanwhile, Namibian T46 sprinter and long jumper Bradley Murere on Thursday won Team Namibia's 4th medal with a seasonal best jump at the World Para-Athletics 2023 Noordveld Grand Prix. Your sports roundup is next. We have come to the end of our weekly newscast. Many thanks for watching. Till Monday next week, from myself, Diana Kauta, and the creatives behind the scenes. It's a good night.